can't believe I almost missed this flight. Oh my gosh, what a day. Don't you think? I mean, great weather, people in the airport are meeting and maybe they're falling in love and they're texting and they're posting and their faces and their phones and go you, yay me, all that, making connections. And then we go up in the air like divine beings. Can I just tell you, my son used to call me Mommy Goddess. Mommy Goddess. He did it from his first words, which was earlier than most kids. One time he said to me, Mommy Goddess, you can fix it? And I said, what? What? And he said, the hole in the trombone layer. He meant ozone, the hole in the ozone layer. I mean, there were things he understood that my own personal brain never could or would. I mean, listen, after you have a child, your whole life changes. It's just the most exhausting, demeaning, exhilarating. Did you hear that? Did you hear the word ill in exhilarating? That's how Bean and I used to talk for hours, just, playing with words, picking them up and putting them down like puppies. By the time he was 4, all of King Lear, well, not all of it, in parts, like, how. Oh, don't mind me. I'll just, but can I tell you just one thing? We used to fly together and I would scoop him up and I'd say, we're just going to follow our nose. And we drive to the airport and we buy a ticket for anywhere, Albany, Newark, Ohio. He loved planes. He would just run up and down the aisles, greeting people, grabbing hands, quoting songs. This is not my beautiful house. And then he'd look at that. This is not my beautiful wife. One time he told a woman she had a big, fat, funky booty. He just said it right out. I mean, the whole flight, he'd dash from seat to seat, and I'd sit there drinking wine and admiring him. In-flight entertainment. One time, he toddled the whole length of the plane, taking off all his clothes. And by the time he got to first class, he was naked as a cherub. On the other side of that curtain, fancy first class folks just hollered with delight. Oh, sure. Once in a while, there'd be a grumpy Gus who would wake me up and complain. But I mean, some people just hate children, But school clipped our wings. He had to go every day. And no, you can't come in and nurse him before band practice. So uptight. I mean, the peer pressure from those other kids. I mean, there they all are. They're drinking from the great teat of Coca-Cola. But if he wants to come home and unbutton my shirt and nurse a little and chat about his day, that's weird. But we just kept doing our thing. We did the family bed. It's the only way for real attachment to happen. And to this day, we are insanely close. He texts me every day to say he's okay. And please don't call him or email him or Snapchat him or WhatsApp him or post on his Facebook page that I love him more than butterfat. I mean, how sweet and thoughtful is he? Butterfat? Oh, that's what we call the puppy we got when he was 11. He so wanted a puppy. And I said, okay, but you have to take care of it and feed it and everything. And then I stepped back and I let him take responsibility. And didn't that little butterfat just poop everywhere? I mean, everywhere. And the handyman or whoever would complain and I'd say, he'll figure it out. He'll get tired of stepping in the messes. And then the cleaning lady quit, which was a bit rude considering I was running ragged making Bean's food. I think it was during that time he was gluten-free or maybe he was Paleolithic. Anyway, his food took time and he couldn't fall asleep without me, on top of me. And that's when we were living in Mom's summer cottage and just walking up the stairs was like looking backwards through my veins. So how could anyone just up and quit with all that going on? I tell you, people think they know, but they don't. From the time you see that first lithograph, Wait, I don't mean lithograph, do I? Oh no, amniograph. Your whole world. I mean, your whole world. There it is, swimming in black and white the rest of your life. You look down at your yeasty loaf of a belly, and below that your clenched toes because they are curled tight like they're in ski boots, and you're just trying to hang on to the goddamn mountain. So anyway, Butterfat starts running out the door every chance he gets, and wouldn't you know, he gets hit by a car. Well, Bean was inconsolable. That was also the last night he slept with me, a month after his 12th birthday. Oh, my grief when he said goodnight and shut the door. I mean, attachment, but then what? They just sprout hair on all of their crotches and walk away? That's when he sat down at the piano and he started playing. He didn't need to study. He didn't need to learn to read music. He just was music. He would sit all day at the piano, banging his tunes, even playing with his head. I mean, can you imagine? Now I ask you, how is a child that brilliant supposed to play with children his own age? And they were brutal to him. He was wearing my old ballet slippers because he couldn't tie his shoes. I mean, if he absolutely had to, I would do it for him. And you would think those ballet shoes were, I don't know, spike heels or banana peels or something, the way they teased him. And the things they teach are so basic. I mean, with the information we have today, it's all on the internet. I told him that. He knew he didn't need to memorize that crap. He was beyond all that. So I pulled him out of school. And he went from piano to decoupage to taxidermy. But after that, it was all computer stuff. And he would stay up all night on the computer making art. And if he didn't sleep, I didn't sleep. So I would sit outside his door scrapbooking. But you know, every photograph after he was 5 looked, I don't know, just weird. Like he'd become his whole self by 5 and the rest was just mutation. And I've got a scissor phobia, so I'd give up and I'd read fiction. Beckett, I think it was Beckett, or anyway, the mystery writer, he publishes a lot. And in the morning, we'd go to get breakfast, and that's where we met the night owls. And all those guys became friends, and they would practice all night in the basement, and I was the band mama. They were an anti-music band. You could only play an instrument how to play it, and once you started to get good, you had to destroy it and start on something else. Well, Bean got good on so many things. We used tambourine, didgeridoo, Rudy box, and soon our basement was filled with instruments and smoke. Oh, they smoked. Truth is, if they left a pipe around with anything in it, I would help them clean it. I didn't want Bean to know, so I'd hide it and just, hit whatever was left later. I don't think he noticed. So they'd be downstairs, and I'd be dancing upstairs with Bacon. Bacon was our rabbit. And my little friends, Paxil and Vodka, and Bonehead, Bones, they called him, used to come up the stairs looking for food. And first he called me Mrs. Bean, but then he just started calling me Yoko, which was really sweet. I mean, considering I could have been in the band. I took a weekend singing workshop at Omega once. Leather was 30 years old today. They took away all of his toys. I sang it for the boys once. Those boys all said Bean had the coolest mom. I wouldn't know. I didn't really know the other moms. It's like we pledged different sororities or something. Anyway, there he was, down in the basement, finding his way, creating this amazing sound. He was basically launched. So I got restless, and I went off and I traveled for I don't know how long, maybe 3 months with this guy I met on OkCupid. And I knew by the time I got back, Bean would be a rock star. I mean, sometimes I'd see T-shirts and I think, there's Bean. He's already a star, like I knew he would be from the time I first heard his heartbeat. But no, it would just be another T-shirt with boring old Che Guevara on it. Well, Bean was into berets then. But what's with the Che stuff? I mean, who cares anymore? So anyway, I get back home. And I can't see signs of shut your freaking pie hole anywhere. That was the most recent name of the band. And, and everything was strange. It was clean and quiet. I knew I was in trouble when I walked in the living room and there was a crucifix hanging on the wall. Oh, I knew I lost him then. I just curled up on the couch and wept. And he came down the stairs and he had on that shiny, bright, I'm going to heaven and you're going to hell smile. And right away, he starts in on me, on everything. I should quit drinking and stealing smoking his pot. And he tells me no more boyfriends until marriage. But I swear to you, I have not had any boyfriends, just dudes to relieve the stress. And only when Bean was asleep, except for Bones that one time in the shower. But how do we know Bean would walk in? Problem of having a house with one bathroom. And he wants me to go to Bible study with him. Not even church, Bible fucking study, for God's sakes. Listen, I told him, I wrote the damn Bible. Don't give me that Jesus died for my sins crap. Jesus hasn't even begun to die for my sins. And he left. My little Bean left. He moved to Akron. Go figure. I wonder if he knows his dad was from there. Anyway, he gets himself into a Jesuit college. I told him it's a little boring, but knock yourself out. And now he's in college with only Jesus since his mom isn't good enough anymore, and Adderall, which is actually pretty helpful. I mean, Bean was on Ritalin for a long time, and when he had a lot of homework, I'd give him a double dose. He told me not to come, and I wasn't going to because I think it's so normal. I mean, a lot of kids try to, their first year of college. I mean, it's spot on the developmental scale of average. It's the only average thing he's ever done. Oh, look. I brought him bacon. I found him under the couch when I got back that time. He forgot to feed her. Bacon can keep him company until he's released, until he's out of, I don't know, psych ward just sounds so dramatic. So one flew over the cuckoo's clock. Or retreat, hiatus. But I mean, I just love to be up in the air, don't you?
So funny.
Oh my gosh.